What's going on, guys? Sticks here with the Token Minorities, bringing you week 4 of season 8 of the CPC, and this week we are up against Henry and his Dayton Dittos. And before I get into the team, just a reminder that if you guys like this video, please leave a like, drop a comment, click that subscribe button as it helps us out a lot and lets us do more cool stuff for you guys. But anyway, on to the team. Like I said, we are up against Henry and his Dayton Dittos, and his team consists of Megalop, Zapdos, Skarmory, Tapu Bulu, Nidoking, Blacephalon, Blastoise, Kyurem, Crawdaunt, and Uxie. Oh, and I guess before I get into his team, you might notice that there is a slight change to the mons that I have. I dropped Rotom and Incineroar for Porygon 2 and Typhlosion. Now, you might be wondering why I did that, and let me just preface that Incineroar was really good for my team. Like, it was great for my team. Like, I was sad that I had to drop it, but unfortunately, Rotom was really just a dead mon for me. Like, I looked at every single matchup, and there wasn't a single one that I realistically would bring Rotom over, you know, one of my other two electrics. I mean, I mentioned in my draft recap that I thought, okay, well, Rotom fills a different role. Not so much. I mean, it's just another electric type. It doesn't even take advantage of the electric terrain. So Rotom, I would just never bring it. And instead of having Incineroar that I would use sparingly, I decided to drop Rotom and Incineroar for a mon that I might use occasionally in Typhlosion, which, I mean, I honestly just grabbed it because I've been wanting to use Typhlosion for a while, and I know it's not the best. Like, Typhlosion just really isn't that good, but it's just one of those mons that I've been wanting to try for a while, and this was a situation that presented itself, and I was like, why the heck not? Let's see what happens. And then Porygon 2 was the main one that I had my eyes on, just because I really needed some bulk, and this also gives me the option of going with Trick Room on this team, given that I have Porygon 2, Nidoqueen, Buzzwole, Cofagrigus, Swampert. Like, I have enough pieces to where Trick Room is an option that I could go for, and basically, like, it just gave me another mode. Like, first of all, my draft is the speed. Like, it has Tapu Koko, Alolan Raichu, Mega Aerodactyl, Greninja. Like, it has so much speed to where if my opponent tries to control the speed in one way or another, that could put me in a bad spot. So giving Porygon 2, while not only giving me very solid bulk, like, just gives me another mon that I can pair with Buzzwole, Cofag, Swampert, and Mega Arrow, and this one has you know, a really reliable recovery as well in Recover. Porygon 2 can also go offensive, so it just gave me more options than I felt the combination of Incineroar and Rotom would be able to do. So yeah, we made the changes, and looking at Henry's team, holy crap, he has all the threats. I mean, Megalop, Zapdos, Bulu, Nidoking, Blacephalon, Kyurem, Crawdaunt. Oh my gosh, those things hit so insanely hard. Like, yeah, he doesn't have, well, I mean, I guess he does have speed in his Megalop, but I mean, he has a huge speed gap that I'm probably going to try to take advantage of in that regard. But still, I mean, his team, ridiculously terrifying, super tough to switch into. But that being said, I do have a mon that I think can be a really good win con against his team that I will be building around, and that is going to be a Sub-Calm Mind Jirachi, and really just the whole team is based around, okay, what do I need for Sub-Calm Mind Jirachi to win, and how do I accomplish that most effectively? The first mon that I'm going to be bringing is a Tapunium Z, Tapu Koko, with Wild Charge, Brave Bird, Nature's Madness, and U-Turn. I mean, Tapu Koko kind of looked like it didn't have the best matchup in terms of Henry having Tapu Bulu and Nidoking, but the combination of Z Nature's Madness into Brave Bird takes out any one of those guys. So it's just kind of well, I mean, it works well enough. It is speed for Blacephalon, and that's mainly what I wanted it for. It's something that can come in on, like, the Skarmory. It can wear things down by just spamming Nature's Madness. It can get me momentum with U-Turn. Just Tapu Koko, while he has two of the better responses in the format to it, that doesn't mean Tapu Koko isn't still going to do his job with the combination of Nature's Madness into Brave Bird, and then once those things are gone, Wild Charge against his team is super spammable. The speed is just enough to guaranteed outspeed Blacephalon and just max attack, because why the heck not? Next up is going to be my Sub-Calm Mind Jirachi with Sub-Calm Mind, Flash Cannon, and Thunderbolt, enough speed to guaranteed outspeed the Kyurem, and then just a good amount of mixed bulk so that I can take hits. I can take certain hits as well as possible. Now, I initially started off with Psychic and Thunderbolt, considering that Nidoking was a threat, and I would be able to take that thing out from full without a +1 with Psychic. However, the more I thought about it, the more I realized that Nidoking, I have answers to, well, I have an answer to, and a pretty darn reliable one, assuming he doesn't hit 2 Focus Blasts, but I mean, let's be real, who hits 2 Focus Blasts, in my Porygon 2. So, like, I have ways around it, and if I have a sub-up and a Calm Mind, I will be able to 2-hit KO that thing. In fact, I might even 2-hit KO that thing, depending on his spread, just straight up with Flash Cannon. So, I figured that, okay, wow, Okoing Nidoking is nice, maybe Okoing Lop and Blacephalon after Rocks is nice. Jirachi is really my only way of taking on the Kyurem. I mean, Porygon 2 is a stall against Kyurem, like it's a delay against Kyurem, but it's not going to necessarily beat it 1v1, particularly because of pressure. So I ultimately decided to go for Flash Cannon over Thunderbolt. Yes, Psychic does have his merits, but Flash Cannon is just more reliable in doing what I need Jirachi to do against his team. Next up, we have a defensive Nidoqueen with Stealth Rock, Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, and Earth Power with the Black Sludge, and basically this Nidoqueen is designed to get up rocks. Like, just get up rocks. His defoggers are Zapdos and Skarmory, both of whom I can abuse on this team, both of whom are setup fodder for Jirachi or even just a switch in for Tapu Koko. Basically, once I get rocks up, I'm in a very, very good position. The speed is enough for his Crawdaunt, and yeah, just Thunderbolt to be able to smack that thing. Next up is going to be a Buzzwole with Leech Life, Rock Tomb, Earthquake, and Roost. This is my main Bulu switch in, this is my main Crawdaunt switch in, my main Mega Lop switch in. Basically, there's a whole lot of pressure on Bulu, but luckily it doesn't need to wall those things infinitely just because Jirachi is such a good win con in this particular game. Leech Life is really nice for like the Crawdaunt, the Uxie, like the Tapu Bulu. Rock Tomb is good for something like the Zapdos trying to switch in, or the Blacephalon trying to switch in, just hitting those. And then Earthquake, while I know that there are, like, that Grassy Terrain could potentially nerf my Earthquake, I don't necessarily think he's going to bring the Bulu, and if he does, well then happy birthday to me. I mean, Buzzwole can still 1v1 that thing and stall out Grassy Terrain, so it just puts me in a better situation, and I still have Porygon 2, who, if the Grassy Terrain is up, will actually have recovery as well as the insane bulk. So I was like, you know what? It's not the best, but I think the trade-off is worth it, and then the speed is enough for max speed Crawdaunt. Next up is going to be a very sped-F Porygon 2 with Recover, Return, Tri-Attack, and Thunderbolt. Now you might be wondering, why do I have Return and Tri-Attack? This is my initial switch in to like an offensive Kyurem. Like a Life Orb Kyurem, Jirachi does not take on as well, but Porygon 2 takes on better, but a bulky Kyurem, Jirachi takes on well, Porygon 2 not as much. So basically it's like Porygon 2 is just my way of figuring out what the heck is Kyurem. Return and Tri-Attack guarantee that no matter what boost I get from whatever mon, Kyurem will not be able to get up a sub on me. That's the only way that he can be a threat, is if he's able to get up a sub on me. Porygon 2 with this set guarantees that that is something he will never be able to do. Thunderbolt is nice for the Skarmory and the Crawdaunt, and also Electric Terrain allows me to, I don't know, hit something harder. Mainly I'm just going to be clicking Return and Tri-Attack, just because those two are my best options. And finally, we have a bulky-ish Mega Aerodactyl with Wing Attack, Pursuit, Roost, and Rock Slide. This has one job, and one job only mainly. Well, mainly. I mean, it has one main job, and that is to get rid of Blacephalon. Its other main job is to Check-Lop and be a general nuisance to his team, because Dual Stab is quite honestly phenomenal against him, and if I'm able to Pursuit trap the Blacephalon, that is one thing that Jirachi needs. Like, getting rid of Blacephalon is step one to Jirachi sweeping in the late game, so that is something that I'm going to put all my eggs into the basket of. Like, I mean, Jirachi is my win con, and I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that it is able to accomplish its goal one way or another, and most effectively. And finally, the speed on Mega Arrow is enough to guarantee to outspeed Mega Lopunny. So yeah, that is the team, and let's just go ahead and hop right on over to the battle. Alrighty, here we are in the battle, and the first thing I'm noticing is that there is no Mega Lop, there is no Zapdos, and there is no Skarm. So his first three picks in his draft, all three did not come. So even though I did have counterplay to each of those, obviously not seeing them is always like, it's always something that's like beneficial. I would much rather deal with things like the Uxie, the Crawdaunt, and the Bulu as opposed to those top three. But at the same time, with the Uxie being brought, I'm realizing I don't have a whole lot that can like chip it down, get a ton of damage on it. I mean, Jirachi can potentially set up on it if it doesn't have knockoff, which if it does, I have to let it knock off my lefties, then my sub will not be broken, but that just opens a whole can of worms in terms of Jirachi not being able to recover. But at the same time, Tapu Bulu with the grassy terrain should allow me to recover up. So I mean, yeah, Jirachi's my win con, and I'm going to play that exactly how I planned. So I'm going to end up leading off with my Nidoqueen, as I kind of figured he would lead off with his Uxie. I know that this Uxie has nothing that can one-hit KO me, so I'm just going to get up my rocks, as they will be essential for putting Blacephalon in pursuit range, whether or not he stays in, and also chipping down the Kyurem. And now I'm just going to go for the Ice Beam to try to figure out what type of set this Uxie is, as Ice Beam does jack all the Uxie, and Psychic does a crap load. So Uxie is a tiny bit invested in special attack, I found out, but Ice Beam doesn't do a whole lot, so I'm like, oh crap, how do I deal with this Uxie? But now I'm just going to go straight into my Tapu Koko, because I'm like, okay, maybe just like Nature's Madness can wear it down. Like, that's kind of what I have to rely on at this point. So I'm just going to go straight for the Nature's Madness, as the Psychic does a very good chunk to my Tapu Koko, as he goes for the Calm Mind, and I was kind of like, oh crap, well, this sucks. Alright, well, time to just go for a Wild Charge, see if I can Oko that thing from there. Unfortunately, I do not, as Psychic is going to be able to take me down. And now the Uxie, I mean, is chipped low, but at the same time, he got over half damage on my Nidoqueen. He took out my Tapu Koko. Granted, Tapu Koko wasn't going to do a whole lot, but still, like, not having a Tapu Koko, or having a Tapu Koko is better than not. But now, I'm just going to go into my Rachi, set up a sub, as I wanted to see what his last move would be. Ends up being the Thunder Wave. I dodge that, and I'm able to go with my sub up, and now I'm going to be able to get a Calm Mind off, as he switches into his Crawdaunt, and I'm thinking, okay, Crawdaunt, probably Scarfed at this point, it's going to Crab Hammer, it's going to break my sub, but at least I get a knockout. Turns out I'm faster, and I knock out the Crawdaunt with Thunderbolt. And the irony is, with my Jirachi at +1/+1 behind a sub and rocks up, had I gone with my initial gut and ran a, well, not with my initial gut, if I had gone, yeah, with my initial set and ran a Psychic Thunderbolt Jirachi, I'm pretty sure I just swept from here, because Kyurem is not an issue now that I have a Calm Mind and a sub up. But I mean, again, I still stand by the fact that I have Flash Cannon over Psychic, just because it gave me more ability to check Kyurem should I need that. Like, I mean, it just gave me a much safer option against Kyurem. But now that I'm +1/+1 behind a sub, goes into his Nidoking. If this thing is Scarf, I will not be able to Oko it, as you can see, and he would outspeed me, but I would be able to get some sort of advantage off of him. But now that he is not Scarf, I am just going to 2-hit KO that thing with Flash Cannon. Jirachi is actually now back up to full health, and I am +1/+1, well, nearly full health anyway. And now Blacephalon comes in, and I'm not messing around. If he has the Z move, he's going to blow it right there. I don't want my Aerodactyl going down to the Never-Ending Nightmare. That thing is too important. So I go into my Porygon 2, and that actually is amazing damage for me, as Porygon 2 is, Porygon 2, based on my investment, based on the damage that he did, it's revealed that he is a modest Blacephalon, and given my Mons, like, unless he's not outspeeding Rachi, which I definitely think he would, that means that he is, for all intents and purposes, a Scarf Blacephalon. Like, that's huge for me. That's going to change how I play around that, but either way, Porygon 2 is in. If I said Porygon Z, I apologize, but Porygon 2 is in, took the Fire Blast. I'm not going to mess around. Maybe if he got a low roll on the potential Z move, I could live it, even though actually a modest Z would knock me out regardless, but then I'd be able to go into Aerodactyl, KO that thing, and yada yada yada. I would just be in a much better position. But either way, he goes into his Kyurem. He's not able to go for the Z move, as it is revealed that he is, well, at least I'm pretty sure he's Scarfed later. I mean, we'll find that out. But I go for my Recover, get back up to full health with the attack boost that I have and the Kyurem in, and I see leftovers. I'm thinking that this is going to be a bulky set of Kyurem, so not wanting to let him get a sub up. I mean, this Porygon, like I said in the team builder, is specifically designed to not let Kyurem get a sub. I'm going to go straight for the return. It breaks the sub, and now with him at around 63%, I'm thinking this is a good chance to go into my Rachi and either sub up or Calm Mind, as he's more than likely going to go for Roost or potentially a Toxic, depending on how bulky he is. But now with my Rachi in on the Kyurem, I'm going to go for the Calm Mind once again, as he makes the good play, goes into his Blacephalon. But now that I know that this Blacephalon is more than likely Scarfed, I know that my Porygon 2 was my initial switch, and he might try to, if he has the Z, the Fire Z, just blow that right off the bat. But he goes for the Fire Blast. It hits my Aerodactyl for decent damage, and now I can go for the Pursuit, whether or not, like, it'll knock him out whether or not he is switching out. As it turns out, he is switching out, so I will be able to Mega Evolve, Pursuit, knock out the Blacephalon, and at this point, Jirachi is just in amazing. Like, Jirachi's in an amazing position. Like, I'm pretty sure Jirachi will just win the game, as I'm going to see what type of damage this does to Bulu. It does 49%, which actually reveals that Bulu is a max HP, max defense variant, or at least pretty darn near max defense. So I know that Jirachi will not have its sub broken. I will be able to set up a sub, Calm Mind up on this thing, and I will be able to win the game. So Jirachi is, like I said, going to be able to come all the way through. I'll be able to have my sub live the Horn Leech, as you can see right there, and then with the combination of Leftovers and Grassy Terrain, I will be recovering up back up to near full. And if his Horn Leech happened to be able to break my sub, because I have Lefties and Grassy Terrain, even if it had been able to break it or he had like Wood Hammer, I would be able to just continually sub until the Grassy Terrain ran out, at which point he would not be able to break my sub because he no longer had the boost on his grass moves, and my Jirachi would still end up at +2/+2, which will be more than enough to win, actually just enough to win the game, as I'm finally going to get up to +2/+2 right here. As Horn Leech will break my sub, I am going to get one final sub up against this Bulu, and then I'm going to sweep through his team as a max HP Bulu guaranteed goes down to +2 Flash Cannon from this set, and Jirachi will be able to win the game. Horn Leech not even close to breaking my sub, and yeah, now Jirachi is going to be able to click Flash Cannon 3 different times, knock out the Bulu, knock out the Kyurem, and knock out the Uxie, and we are able to take the 4-0 victory. Now, this was honestly, this was an incredibly scary game. I mean, I think, well, an incredibly scary matchup, and also the Uxie threw me off big time early on. Like, that put me on the back foot, but luckily I just happened to have the perfect Jirachi for this particular matchup. I mean, his team is insanely scary, has a ton of breaking power. I just happened to bring the right mons for this specific matchup, and we are able to take that game 4-0 against Henry and his insanely threatening team. So, yeah, I mean, pretty straightforward game. Jirachi getting 5 kills and Aerodactyl doing exactly what it was designed to do. I mean, this was a game that went according to game plan about as well as you could hope for. I mean, obviously the Uxie threw a wrench in the plan, but that's why you have multiple other mons on the team. Jirachi just ended up coming through in the end. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and this is Styx, signing out. Why not? See you guys.